I'm going to take you through auto recalls and how we can set up auto recalls. We're going to go to our management area and then we're going to go to recalls. The first screen you land on is recall parameters. Nothing has changed in here. This is how the recall is set in the patient's file. If you need to know more information about what triggers a recall for a patient, please see our previous videos. So to set up auto recall, you're going to go to auto recall setup. To turn it on, you need to tick the auto recall toggle button here and set an auto recall initial date. So this is the date that the system is going to start doing the auto recalls. So if you click in here, you will notice that you're not able to select dates in the past. You'll only be able to do from tomorrow onwards. You can't backdate the recall to start prior to today. So if there is a period between, say, for example, setting it up tomorrow and when you've last done your recalls, you will need to manually create a group for that in-between period and send those off. So I'm going to select tomorrow to begin the auto recall group. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a group created tomorrow of everyone who's due for a recall between this time period. So in here, you can set it as monthly or for weekly. So if we do monthly, the time period, it will be here. Next auto recall group creation date is going to be the 7th of May, which is tomorrow. And then the date range of everyone who's due for a recall is from the 7th of May to the 6th of June. So that's our frequency here. Now, the next step is setting up your automated SMSs to go out to those patients. So if you don't set up your auto SMSs, the system will just be creating the groups on their own and you'll have to manually send those text messages. So this is a good idea if you're wanting the system to create the group for you, but you want a little bit more control or you're a bit concerned about how many SMSs are going to be sent out in those groups. So we can have up to 3 SMSs going out. So the first one I recommend to tick on the recall due date. So when the group is created, which is going to be the 7th of May, which is tomorrow, that's going to send out those text messages to everyone who's due for a recall between that period. You can set a time for those recalls to go out, the recall SMSs, sorry. And then on the right-hand side, you can customize your text message here to whatever you wish, just like a normal SMS field. Do keep an eye on the number of characters. Anything over 160 characters will require an additional SMS, and it will tell you how many SMSs are required just underneath here. So just keep an eye on that if you're concerned about the quantity of SMSs and how much it might cost you to send those out. Now we've got 3 options along here for sending SMSs for patients who've chosen not to be contacted by SMS, if you wish. Exclude patients with future appointments. I always recommend this so you're not sending text messages to people who have already got something booked in. And exclude patients who have already responded. It doesn't apply to the first text message, but the additional ones, you can exclude sending another SMS to them if they've already responded before. So let's say I want to send out 3 SMSs to my auto recall patients, one on the group creation day, and then I'm going to set up my second one to go out 2 weeks after the auto recall group has been created. You can change the SMS so it's a little different to your first one if you wish, and you can change any of these parameters here. To set up a third text message, you tick the third box and tell the system when you want that third SMS going out. So we might do then 4 weeks after the auto recall group creation date. Once you're happy with all your parameters there, you'll just need to press save on the bottom right down here. This is a history of 2 groups that have been created in the past. This is just our test environment here. So the data in here is not accurate. It's just to show you how the system works. So in here, we can see how many patients are inside of the group, just like the previous recalls area. And we can see how many have future appointments and how many have completed recalls. Now, these are all sitting at 0 because it's our test environment. Yours will have accurate data in here. So next, along here, this relates to our SMSs that we've either sent or we've got scheduled, or they might have been cancelled. So your SMS number 1 here, this is telling me that it was sent out on the 5th of April at 10 o'clock. The second SMS was not set, and a third SMS was not set. So they were the parameters. If you had your second SMS set and your third, then it would say scheduled to be sent on a date there. With your scheduled SMSs, if you wish to cancel them, you can press cancel. There will be a button available here for you to cancel those scheduled SMSs that are coming up. And then lastly, here on the right-hand side, these are your parameters on who you've chosen to contact. So there's a color key down the bottom. So the pink means send SMS to non-SMS contact patients. The blue, exclude patients with future appointments. If that's ticked, that's going to happen. And then lastly, the green, exclude patients who have already responded. So if you've sent out one text message to them, you might want to exclude them if they've already responded. Now, if you wish to cancel the auto recall system, there are 2 things that you need to do. So you need to go to your auto recall setup and you need to disable it. You can disable it by pressing the auto recall enable button here, and that's going to disable any future groups and text messages from being created and sent out. What might happen is that you might have already created a group and the system might have future SMSs pending to be sent out. So you just need to check auto recall history and make sure there's no more scheduled SMSs from the group itself here. If there is, you will need to cancel that message as well.